What is going on, guys? I am Plays PS4 and welcome to the 7th part of this Nico Rosberg career mode series here in Montreal in Canada. Now this is going to be a track that is one of my best tracks. After P2 in Monaco, I'm looking for the win after putting it on pole in Montreal, obviously, in a fully wet qualifying blue wall tyres. We beat Hamilton by about 2/10 and hopefully we'll be able to keep it in P1 of the whole race. I was looking at the strategy here, obviously starting on options, pitting for primes on lap 8 or 9, and now let's get started. We've got Hamilton behind us and then Kimi behind him for 5 lights, and away we go in Canada. We've got a decent start. Looks like Lewis is tucked in behind us, and we come into turn 1 relatively unopposed. I apologise for kind of cutting it there. But there we go. We have a standard mix, obviously, as we start with minus 0 point something, I don't know, of fuel. It's very minor. And now we've got a clean getaway here, so we're looking to break that 1 second DRS gap between me and Hamilton into the first lap. But now we come into the heavy braking zone of the hairpin. We run slightly wide, and now we're trying to get on the power as early as possible. As you can see from the proximity arrows, Lewis Hamilton is right on our gearbox, and he makes the move towards the outside. We squeeze him a bit, nearly putting him in the wall. He's right there. And now, into the braking zone, we outbrake him, and we're able to keep position 1, getting a much better exit than our Mercedes teammate. And then we set a purple lap there. Obviously, it's the first lap, so you'd hope that we would if we were in position 1. But now we come back into the braking zone once again. Another 2 purple sector times, as you can see from the mini-map. We have not been able to shake Hamilton at all on this lap, as this track is basically just made up of straights and chicanes, so it's kind of hard to pull away unless you are in Mercedes, opposing car other than Mercedes. But now he obviously pulls to our inside, but we are able to get him under braking and get a better exit onto the start-finish straight. But once again, we're in the hairpin. All the action is happening in the hairpin this race, and as we put it up to fast, Hamilton is going to have DRS on us this lap, as it is lap 3. The preceding DRS, where's he going to go? He's going to go up the inside again, and we're going to get him under braking. Yes, we are. We leave him not much room there, so we kind of cut across his line and get to the apex, but we're able to pull away once again, stay in front in this Mercedes battle. We set yet another purple lap time at the end of lap 6 there, so here we go. We're kind of going on a charge here, we hope. As the engineer says that the tyres have a few laps left in them, which you would presume they would, since they have, we've just said purple lap time, but what have we done there? Oh no! Oh no, we've got into the wall of champions and we have lost our end plate of our front wing. That is not good for our race. As you can see, we are really struggling as we run very wide there. We are really struggling to keep this thing on the track, and although we did pull out a 3-second buffer to Lewis Hamilton, it is going to disappear like a puff of smoke with our front wing in this state as we come across. We try and take this flap, but it just sends us into the wall, and we have lost our other end plate, and we run big there. That is just, our situation has gone from good to bad to worse. Oh dear God. As we kind of squeeze Lewis Hamilton into the wall. I don't know how he hasn't lost any of his front wing. Oh wait, he's AI, not that I'm bitter. It's kind of good that we didn't really put him in the wall there, because probably would have got a penalty. But we kind of do it again there. Contact once again, and then I don't think we'll be able to keep up with him into this hairpin with the low amount of downforce that we currently have on the car. And lap 8 has not been a good lap, as Kimi Räikkönen and Lewis Hamilton both pull ahead of us there. We managed to stay ahead of Bottas, but that is not going to go too well in the future. Now, we're in Hamilton's slipstream here. We're going to have to pit this lap, as this was our scheduled pit lap. But we go straight into the back of Lewis there, and he's spun. Oh no, he has spun. That is just absolutely terrible for the Mercedes team, as one of our drivers, me, has lost their front wing, and the other is now pointing in the wrong direction, as, we just push him along, and that is not good. So we come in for our pit stop. It's not going to be a magic one, unfortunately. And as you can see, Daniel Ricciardo going in ahead of us there as the front wing comes. It's going to be 8.5 seconds, I believe, as the Williams jumps us. So does the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo. That's Massa ahead of us. but it's not going to be good. We have lost a lot of time, about probably around 10 seconds, with the extra 6 seconds of our pit stop, and just, it's not going to be good. So anyway, we've got to try and get ahead of Massa and Ricciardo, put that incident behind us. As we come into the braking zone of the hairpin here, let's see, I reckon we'll be a DRS range of Massa here, but he will have DRS on Ricciardo, so it's going to be tough to overtake him. Let's see what we can do though, as we go get the DRS, go shift up into 8th, accelerate past 330 kilometers an hour, up to 340 before braking for the chicane, making sure we don't hit the world champions. And they have both got a poor exit. They were really holding each other up. And we are able to get ahead of both cars there. They really hold each other up going into that chicane, and on the exit as well. As we come into turns 1 and 2, we have a clear advantage, and now we are trying to chase down Valtteri Bottas. I think he has about a 5-second advantage over us as we come into this chicane. We run a slightly wide there, but nearly colliding with the V-power sign, but we don't go into that left-hand wall there, so we have kept all our front wings so far on this lap, which is very good, taking a lot of curb there. Now, what's the gap going to be here? 4.1 seconds, and we've got 6 laps to chase that down. Hopefully we can do it. What do you reckon? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, but trying to cheat. Now we come back to the end of lap 13. What's the gap going to be? 1.9 seconds, so in just 2 laps we have managed to chase down 3 seconds of Valtteri Bottas lead, and as you can see him there at the top of screen, we're nearly out of fuel. We're down to standard, so I don't know, it's going to be tough. But as we come back onto the back of Valtteri Bottas, we're all over his gearbox into this hairpin. We've made up a lot of ground, but then he accelerates away. I think we will have DRS here as we come up into 5th, 6th, and now 7th, and then finally 8th. We do have DRS, accelerating once again up to that 340 kilometers an hour before braking for that chicane, heading to the World Champions. But Valtteri Bottas has got a good exit there. We nearly slam into the wall. As you can see, checking my damage meter there, we have DRS again, but I don't think we're going to be able to get him on this straight coming into turn 1. But as you can see in the top right there, it's now lap 16, and our 15.4 from lap 6, I believe it was, is still the fastest lap time of the race. Now coming in, we've got DRS on Valtteri Bottas, 340 k's an hour, braking for the chicane, and oh no, he's lost the rear end next. He has had an absolute tank slapper, and of course my headset has been disconnected. If you notice a little jump cut there, it's because I had to plug it in again. I didn't really need to see that, but we have got ahead of Valtteri Bottas. We are now P2, and we have 2 laps to chase down about a 5-second lead of Kimi Räikkönen. But unfortunately, we couldn't do it as we come across the final corner. Kimi Räikkönen wins the Canadian Grand Prix. We are weaving our wheel, half in ecstasy, half in frustration, as that incident with Lewis and the incident into the World Champions cost us more than the incident with Lewis. But as you can see, we come onto the 2nd spot on the podium. We have gained points on the championship leader Lewis Hamilton, and also Sebastian Vettel, who I believe finished 4th. He was 4th when I went into 2nd, so I believe he would have stayed there. And we've so made up points of both of them, but I think that with Kimi winning, we will drop down back to 4th in the driver's standings. Mercedes still will be 1st, I believe, in the constructors. But as you can see, everyone's waving, everyone's having a good time. Now, here we go. So we finished about 5 seconds adrift of Kimi Räikkönen, and oh no, Lewis Hamilton came 4th. And then Sebastian Vettel was 5th. Daniel Ricciardo wasn't able to sustain his advantage, coming down to 7th, falling down to 7th behind Felipe Massa. Max Verstappen, a good showing. And Crofty just running out the race there. Let's have a look. As you can see, I bumped up the difficulty to expert there, so that was a good race. I'll try and leave it there from now on. But as you can see, Fernando Alonso got a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flags. Yeah, so the collision with Stevens that Hulkenberg had, I lapped him in the 6th lap, I believe, when I was still in the lead, but I cut that out. And as you can see, that 5-second penalty for Alonso dropped him down into 17th place. But now, as I said, we have dropped down into 4th in the driver's standings, and Mercedes are still 41 points clear of Ferrari in the constructors. So we're looking to bounce back in Austria in the next Grand Prix, and I'll see you then. See ya!